been following the development of offshore wind across the Gulf of Maine over the past few months. Governor Janet Mills' recently released offshore wind roadmap offers greater detail on the plans. Tom Krasnowski joins us now with more.
Well, hi there, Brittany. Offshore wind is coming to the Gulf of Maine. It's part of a push from state and federal government both to develop renewable energy. But how soon will the wind hit the water? And how will it benefit Mainers? Details on the state's vision in part one of my special report, Winds of Change. The winds here off the Gulf of Maine are strong and consistent. It's gotten some thinking, what if there was a way to use this resource to benefit the entire state? That's only part of the premise outlined in Governor Janet Mills' Offshore Wind Roadmap, a document that spells plans for hundreds of wind turbines in the Gulf of Maine.
We are striving for a balance that includes moving away from fossil fuels, continuing to support existing ocean industries, and also providing additional economic opportunities throughout the state.
Offshore wind is just one way Maine is striving to meet its goal of using 100% renewable energy by 2050, along with solar, onshore wind, and storage. Dr. Amrit Verma at the University of Maine is involved in the turbine's mechanical engineering and says the university is an industry leader.
The research that we are currently doing is going to make possible this goal of 30 gigawatt by 2030.
UMaine deployed the first floating wind turbine in North America 9 years ago, and Dr. Verma says the technology will become the standard in the U.S.
Offshore wind is really something that's going to boost our economy and industry. There are several companies that are looking to hire new students. There are challenges, but at the same time, I would say if we work on these challenges together, we would be able to really benefit from the industry, because this is really the future of U.S., I would say, in terms of renewable industry.
The governor's energy office says wind makes economic and environmental sense for Maine.
We send $4 billion a year of our hard-earned money out of the state to import those polluting fossil fuels, and that is a dynamic that we definitely need to change.
As questions and challenges persist, Dr. Verma says collaboration is key.
So we have all sort of collaboration that goes through it. So we're not really looking at a system from just an engineering standpoint. We look at a system where we are looking at, okay, how does this offshore wind farm going to interact with the ecosystem around it?
The million-dollar question that determines if this plan floats or sinks. Now, Maine's fisheries are a billion-dollar industry, and they could be impacted by offshore wind development. Now, the state has pledged to minimize disruptions to wildlife and fisheries wherever possible, but scientists acknowledge that some impacts of offshore wind remain unknown. We'll hear the perspective from Maine's fishermen in part two of this special report. That's tomorrow night on TV5 News. But for now, Brittany, back to you at the desk.